Are these the best camp tables you can buy? Well, we are gonna do some Trailgate testing here in Arizona, and we're gonna find out.
Cheers, Chef.
Cheers. Oh yeah, that tastes good after that hike, huh? All right, Chef Corso, Outdoor Eats, here to put you on the path to amazing meals on your outdoor treks. And we talk about recipes here a lot on the channel. Everybody, this is my good buddy, Brian Joe. How you doing? He is a seasoned veteran in the outdoor space. How long have you been in the outdoor space? How many trips have you taken people out on?
Well, that's hard to say. I've been a guide and working in the outfitter space for about 26 years. And there was a time in my life that I was spending about 250 days in the field every year.
So you have set up camp many times.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that you're here to be able to help to see these new camp tables from Big Agnes.
Cool.
If they should be part of our trips.
Yeah.
And guys, we are trailgating, and what that means is we just went for a hike up these hills just north of Phoenix. But don't, it's Friday afternoon.
Yep.
We could just go to a bar down the street, but this is a way better option in my opinion. And if you want to cook up some Trailgate snacks, you can make these few recipes, whether that is a kettle corn or bacon and brie dip or chorizo queso, chorizo nachos. That could be pretty good. We're just gonna snack on some Doritos and some chicharrones here with our beer. But this is a way better place to enjoy a happy hour, or a campy hour, than in a bar. Yeah, so I'd rather be outside here. I need another drink. So the fine folks at Big Agnes sent over 2 camp table options. We have the Woodchuck and the Soul Kitchen. Okay, so we both are pretty much the same construction, right?
Yeah.
And just different sizes. But here are the specs really quick and how they set up. Okay, so let's start with the Woodchuck.
All right.
Okay, and just open it up. You can crouch down. Looks like a pretty easy setup. We've got a soft but also hard top shock cord situation. Putting those together, finding the right combination. Right, easy, great. And then on the sides, we've got some little landing clips. Pretty easy. And if you get it wrong the first time, it's a pretty easy fix.
Absolutely.
Okay, that pops on in there too. Okay, that's nice. And one thing to note is that this is not a seat and no hot pots. All right, because it is plastic, it is polyester, but that is the Woodchuck, solid size, multiple different styles. Okay, cool. A little bit bigger size, a couple more poles, same shock cord sort of situation. Once you know, puts together pretty quick. Similar resting brackets here. A little bit sturdier base because it's a little bit larger. So still pretty straightforward setup. And then this is, since it's a little bit bigger, that does have one extra piece.
Not sure what it is.
And so flip it over.
Ah, there we go.
Yep. And so it has one little nesting point, and I'm gonna show you real quick because I think this is super slick. It's not like some of those camp chairs where you have to stress and stress. You just put it in there with a little bit of Velcro and it secures it to the other side. Yep, okay, perfect. Right in the little thing set up for it.
Now it makes sense.
And we haven't even had any beers yet.
Yeah.
But still relatively straightforward, but yeah, let's show that. Yep, secures right on in there. But instead of having 2 of the same tabs like we have here on the left.
That's great.
Yep.
Makes it a lot easier.
A little bit more forgiving. All right.
Also, not a seat.
Also not a seat. Don't put hot things on it. So you set them up. How'd they go?
Well, I'd never seen them. I pulled them out of the package, and they were really intuitive to put together. Had a couple little moments where I had to fiddle around, but I mean, setup was not more than a minute.
Yeah, I set them up last night before we met up, and it was basically super easy. There are directions on the inside,
which is nice to have,
of the bag, just in case. But it just took a couple little tweaks of knowing exactly where the pieces go. But once you know, you know. and is pretty darn easy. Overall weight and packability,
Super small.
super small, very, very solid. Really depends on your needs. What are some other things that you look for when you're looking for a camp table?
Well, we already said ease of setup. I mean, that's key. Another thing is that when you do take them down and put them away, that it's easy to get them back in the bag.
Fair.
For years, it was they'd always supply a really tight fit on the bag, and you'd get carpal tunnel trying to get them back in. And I can tell from these bags that these will roll back up and go back into place without any hassle.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I noticed that too. There was some extra space in there.
Yeah.
So one, these pieces will fit back in that bag very easily. But also, you could add some other things to that bag. If you're going to the beach, if you're trailgating like we are, put some snacks or put some beers or just put some extra gear, sunscreen. It could be an extra little pack bag for you too.
That's true.
Other things that you look for with a good camp table?
Well, it's got to be stable, and you know, if you're setting beers like we are, or snacks, or using it as a prep table, you've got to be able to do that without it falling apart on you. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, these I think are made for more of a side table or something like that, not something super sturdy to be prepping your meals on or anything. Yeah. But when you're setting up a really comfortable space in camp, these are super fun. I mean, the graphics on there are great. They're super stable for setting, bags of chips, your beers, and things like that. So you're not setting them on the ground and kicking them over when you stand up. I think these are a great addition to kind of that community space in a campsite. Yeah, that's the way I feel about them too. They are a solid option for just general stuff. Yeah. I'm not, especially with their notice, and especially this is a plastic top, I'm not gonna cook on this. No. I'm just not gonna push it, because even if the camp burner is farther away, that's just asking for trouble. So this is definitely not a cooking station or a lot of prepping station, because it's a pretty soft surface. I think if you're doing a charcuterie situation, just putting things together, a couple little light slices, gonna be totally fine. But anything more than that, probably not gonna be the best kitchen prep table for you. No, you might want to put out, like you said, charcuterie if you have a sandwich spread and people are making sandwiches or something like that. Totally great. That'd be great for that. Yep, for sure. Any drawbacks that you can see when you set this up, or feeling it out? Well, with this, we haven't tried to clean it yet, but inevitably you're going to spill things on it. So it is maybe a polyester coated fabric there. So my hope is that you'd be able to wipe it down and it wouldn't stain easily, because you want your stuff looking great, and you're not going to necessarily treat it with kid gloves. So it'd be nice if it cleaned up well. If it doesn't, this is white with a really cool graphic on it. So I guess that would be something you'd see through time if you spilled on there and wiped it up and it cleaned up. Sure. So it is a polyester, and it does have a stain-resistant coating on there, and not quite waterproof, but kind of slough off a little bit. But yeah, that's one drawback that I can see about this is it's not a fully cleanable surface. I've used some other camp tables out there that have a similar kind of accordion setup like this, which it's metal and it's just really easy to clean. So that's just one thing to note, where, in my opinion, this is not like the camp table for every need, but this is super awesome to be with us here on trailgating time, or just at base camp, or if you have a big old family camping tent. Yeah, I think put it in there. It'd be nice if you're the type of camper that really goes luxe and has cots. There's nothing worse than having to put your stuff down next to you. So a little side table in a tent, it would really make it feel fun. Yeah, for sure. And if you're playing cards too, just kind of like that light usage of needing to put something away and extended from the ground. Super awesome. One thing that I noticed when I was setting it up, especially for this one, is that even though there is a supportive rail here, it has a little bit of a soft give. So if there's anything heavy in the middle, and then you're putting this, and if you have maybe a fence post or a tall boy, like that might have a tendency to tip over. Yeah. So that's something to note here too. It's good for just holding on to some things and not things that are super heavy. And I think if you're moving it around and you inevitably grabbed it from the top, it can easily pop out because it's not super secure and there's nothing that locks it into place. So I can see you pulling the top right off of it. On the other side, the nice thing is the frame is really rigid and it's not going to collapse on you. You'll just have to pop that back into place.
Yeah, I think that's a double-edged sort of positive-negative sort of situation, which is, oh, it's easy setup, but then it's also, it's easy unsetup.
Yeah.
So it can pop out. It doesn't have a locking mechanism in there. Other thing that I was thinking of, would these be good in the wind?
Probably not.
Probably not. They are not very heavy, so I could definitely see if a breeze is blowing through your campsite, these are going to blow over with it. Not the end of the world, but if you guys are making a choice about some of the things you want at camp and you want it to be very, very stable, you're just going to need a little bit more weight, so it's not going to blow away and turn into a little sail. But overall, I think it's really nice construction. I love the styling. They have other styles online. Is this the best camp table ever?
Well, I don't know.
I feel the same. It's like, yes, for certain things, but it's not a camp stove for every single thing.
Yeah, I think with a camp table, it adds a lot of fun and kind of flair to your camp. But if you're looking for one camp table that does it all, you'll probably want something that you could use as a prep surface for your kitchen. You could use for a side table for lounging around the campfire. You could use for a side table in your tent, and these just won't do it all. But they are a great addition.
Yeah, they are. I think there's some definite positives, but if you're looking for one camp table to rule them all, I would look for something that's a little bit sturdier, a little bit heavier, and has a cleanable surface, and I can cook on. So I'm not going to worry about things melting or bowing or anything like that.
Yeah, there's a lot out there that are aluminum. They're all aluminum construction, and that's kind of the tried and true for the versatility.
Yeah, for sure. Well, any other thoughts on our Big Agnes tables?
They're fun.
They're fun. I think there's some great positives. It could be a great addition for your camp coming up this season. Well, thanks for coming along. Go to outdooreats.com for some great trailgating recipes, or even our Trailgate edition of our cookbook, a whole edition of recipes, hot and cold beverages, so you can do this rather than going to the bar down the street. But get out there.
Cheers, y'all.
Boca boca.
Lager's the way to go, dude.
Go that way. There you go.
How you doing?
Good. How are you guys? What are you guys up
Ripping
to?
up into the desert a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
With the dog behind you. That was great. You were
Yeah.
flying.
You want to join our Trailgate?
Sure. Why not? I'm checking it out too. Hell yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Would you like one?
I got one here, but you know,
Oh, you got Coors there.
unless you want a Coors. Well.
Double fisted on
Do
the
I
horse.
have to drink both? No. Good to meet you.
Do you live here?
I do. Around the corner.
Oh, nice. I'm in 2 houses up here.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah. And what's your name again? I'm sorry.
Appreciate it. Michael.
Michael, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
Nice to meet you, dude.
Thanks for asking twice. I'm always the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Where are you from?
From Seattle.
Okay.
So I've been living and working on the road for the last 4 years. So around, and I run Outdoor Eats.
Is this you?
It's me, Chef
Thanks for the
Corso.
beer, though.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and whole mission for the company is to teach folks how to eat well outdoors. And we're just doing a little video on camp tables.
I love it.
Like reviewing the camp tables, they'll go up on YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
So do you take people out into the preserve, or?
So, you know, horses are big dogs, right? So I just need to kind of figure out, you know, a way to do that. And it's just like creating an LLC, and then, you know, every once in a while, like, hey, you know, if you pay me, I'll pay you, and then you pay me back, and then, I mean, whatever, Venmo, I'll Venmo.
Oh, that's cool.
Just kind of go that direction. So I'm going to try to do something like that, just going to offset the cost. I mean, they're just big dogs, right? So,
Yeah.
but I love to. I mean, I got friends. We got 3 horses. So it works out pretty well. But, yeah.
That's great.
You want to ride?
I'd love to ride sometime.
Let's go.
Yeah, that sounds
You have
cool.
to ask me twice. Around here, I mean, I'm not shy.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
if you're interested and ready, like I could put a little link at the bottom here to like showcase your service.
Cool. No, I appreciate that.
If you're ready or not ready,
I mean,
whatever.
there's nothing I can profile it on, so
Okay.
that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you lived here?
Actually, just recently, since 20.
20?
Yeah.
Nice. We bought our place in 21.
21? Okay.